Hello, I'm really sorry. I hope I didn't make you wait for a long time. No? Okay. I'm really sorry. I was finishing another class and it took us a lot of time. There were so many questions. And then I remember I have another class, so I just ran as fast as I could. Okay. Yes, I'm fine, thank you. It's just a little bit agitated, but it's alright. Nice to meet you. Yes, my name is Asha, and today I'm going to be the teacher that will help you to pass your test. First of all, I want to tell you that here I won't teach you some specific contents. On the other side, I'm going to share with you some methods that will help you to pass your test. Okay? Yes, sometimes we think that in order to pass an exam, we just have to sit down and study as much as we can. But some studies have shown that perhaps this is not the best way to study. Yes, this might create a lot of stress, and in many occasions it shows that the result is not the one that one expected. Okay, so here I'm going to share with you some friendly methods that will help you. Before I start, I would like to ask you some questions. The first question I would like you to answer for yourself, not for me, for yourself, is why do you want to pass this test? Is it really important? Are you doing it for yourself or for someone else? Okay, so this is the first question you should ask to yourself. The next question is, what's your purpose? What's your purpose once you pass this test? What are you planning to do with that? What are you planning to do with that? Okay, so these are two important questions I could encourage you to ask to yourself. So let me share with you some cases. I have seen students studying really hard, and yet they failed their test. And you know why? Doing that test was not what they really wanted. So it seemed that in some way they were making themselves fail unconsciously because it was not really what they wanted to do. These keep leading to some disappointment, to some uncomfortable feelings. So that's why I emphasize again to ask yourself these questions. What's your purpose? And what do you want to do? What's the reason? What's the reason? Alright. The next is a very good study method. Okay? I won't recommend you to study for many hours continuously. A very good method is where you let your body and your mind take a break. Take a break. You need to also let your eyes take a break, let your brain take a break. Also move a little bit. That will relax your body, that will make your mind much clearer, that will give also some time to your brain to review all the contents that you were studying. So the method goes like this. You can study for 20 minutes and then you can take a break. You can take a break from 5 to 10 minutes. This method has proven to be very useful. It's a very useful method. Mm-hmm. So 20 minutes study, only focusing on the study, trying to avoid any distraction, and then take a rest from 5 to 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. You can stand up, you can take a walk, you can perhaps drink something, or simply listen to some relaxing music or something that you really enjoy. And after that, you can go back to only focusing. This is a very, very good method. I highly recommend you. Try, try it out. And you can come back next week and you can let me know how you felt. If this method is useful for you. Let me tell you that certainly to most of my students it has been very, very useful, and it has decreased their stress. Another thing that I would like to tell you is that you need to separate the result that you get with the perception that you have of yourself. Okay? For example, getting the result that you were not expecting doesn't mean that you are a failure in life. I really, really want you to remember this. The result that you get doesn't define the person that you are, doesn't define the capabilities that you have. In case you don't have the result that you were expecting, I want you to remember that it's alright. It's alright. With that experience, you can learn in which areas you are lacking of knowledge. That gives you the opportunity to focus more on that part. You can focus that, and there's always an opportunity to try again. I want you to remember that getting a good score or a bad score doesn't define the quality of life that you can get. This doesn't mean that you have to leave your studies aside and don't put any effort. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that don't let a test define the way you are feeling, and also define the value that you give to yourself. Alright. Another thing that I would like you to take note on is you need to sleep well. I know probably this sounds very basic, very simple, but it is proven that most of students whose tests are coming don't sleep very well. I want you to give a lot of importance to your resting time. A person that haven't slept very well won't give a good performance. Because your body will be focusing on that tiredness it's feeling. So all those feelings will be distracting you, will be distracting your brain. So please remember, sleep well. Okay, sleep well. From 6 to 7 hours is advised. If you have to study, try to administrate your time nicely. Nicely. Another thing that might sound very, very simple is that you need to eat well. Eat well. Don't depend on snacks. Don't depend on drinks that contain a lot of sugar, and also don't depend on caffeine. I recommend you to eat balanced, eat properly. Eat properly. Of course, you can enjoy your favorite snacks while you're studying, but don't depend on that only. Don't depend on that. Alright. Another recommendation I have for you here is try to do some physical activity. Some physical activity as I told you before, will help your body to relax and also will make your mind much more clear. Mhm. Much more clear, and this will help your brain to retain their information more easily. Mhm. Try to do some physical activity, maybe during your break time. You can do some flexibility exercises, stretching exercises. Taking a walk is very good, and probably some yoga will help you too. If you are feeling a lot of anxiety during the time your test is coming, I highly recommend you to do some activities of high impact. I could recommend you to, if you can, do some weights. And also, it's very advised to go out and run for some time. This helps the body to take out all the anxiety that you might be feeling. If in the case you can't go out to run, I can recommend you to do some exercises at home. Some exercises that encourage you to do some jumpings, to do some squats, to do some yoga in your place. This is very good. Exercise that make you sweat and that makes your heartbeat go fast is very good. So these are some of the methods that I highly recommend you to try on in order to get the result that you are looking for in your test. Yes, do you have any questions? I know this sounds very simple, but believe me, once that you start to be more organized and try to apply all of them, I'm sure your study time won't seem that difficult and it won't seem that scary. You know, when I was your age, I used to feel the same. There were many occasions I was trying to sleep early. I couldn't sleep because I was feeling a lot of stress. But something that really helped me was doing some activities, some physical activity that helped me to take all that anxiety out and also helped me to distract myself. Now that I'm not a student anymore, I see this in a different way. I understand now that during those times I was giving it too much importance. Now I understand that passing a test or failing it was not the end of the world. So please remember, try to not overstress yourself during this time. During this time, what matters also is that what you are studying is of your total interest, and also what matters is that you are really learning something. There's no use if you are only studying in order to just memorize. Memorizing things is not the goal. You memorize words and data, but at the end you don't comprehend that, right? So I recommend you to focus on learning. Focus on learning. Focus on enjoying what you are studying. Also, if that's not what you want, if the thing that you are studying is not the thing you are really passionate about, I think there's always a possibility to go and pursue the thing that really makes you happy and very interested. It is proved that if you are studying a subject that is really of your interest, you're learning by heart very easily. If it's something that you don't enjoy, it will be very difficult to learn something from it and to remember things from it. Okay? So, this was not really like a class. I think this was more like a guidance meeting for you. and I really hope it helped you. If you have any question or have to make your study time even more better, you can always come and look for me. I will be here available for you. What matters to me is that all the students in here graduate, but also that they have a joyful experience of study. Mhm. School, studies doesn't mean that you have to suffer. Mhm. Doesn't mean that. You have to enjoy what you are learning. In that case, once you graduate, once you start your professional life, you are going to transmit a lot of happiness, passion, many good things to the people around you. So right here we are trying to do that. Create students that do well in the environment they work on. Okay, my dear. So I think our time is over. I'm telling you again, if you get any more questions, you can always come back to my office and I will be happy to answer to all of your questions. So anyway, after 2 weeks, I need to talk to you because I want to know your feelings, how you were feeling after applying all the methods that I share with you today. We want to do some followings on our students. You don't have to write a report on that, don't worry. We know you are a busy person, so we won't give you more pressure, okay? Just come back after 2 weeks and we can talk. I want to know how you felt. Please try to follow these methods, and I'm sure they will really help you. And once the time for your test comes, I'm sure you are going to have the best result. Okay, dear. So you're free to go now. Yes. And see you next time. Bye bye. Bye, dear.